Hello, hello. Welcome in, guys, to episode 37 of the What the Hell Are You Doing podcast. Today we'll be interviewing an amazing Twitch partner. Welcome in, Raven. How are you? And tell us about yourself.
I'm doing great, my friend. I'm doing great. I was just finishing with my undead monkey. All weird. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for having me on, my dear friend Albert. For those of y'all that I haven't met before, I'm Raven, also known as the Captain. We do the Captain Jack Sparrow cosplay. We also dabble in a lot of different cosplays. We've got some interesting ones coming up, and I've even got a new one that I'm revealing this Sunday. No one knows about this though. But yeah, we stream every Monday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch, twitch.tv, The Raven Armed, and we do a variety of games. Sea of Thieves, a lot of scary games, and I just found out about Dixper, so the scary games have gotten 10 times as scary.
And do you have a game you typically play on stream? What are your normal games?
Sea of Thieves is our probably only constant game. As far as like replayability, we do have some horror games we could go back to, but a lot of it I'm constantly looking for like new like cheap like $5-6 indie horror games that's like good for like quick jump scares and it's just something that's new. So if we're not just chatting or playing Sea of Thieves, it's almost completely random. I take recommendations from the chat, and we look them up online and see if they're something that we would do, and if so, then we get it and we go.
Awesome. So you said you do horror games. Have you ever tried the game Blair Witch?
I actually have. Blair Witch, I have not finished. I meant to. It's one of those games that's like, I knew I didn't want to sit down and like really like dive in until I had time to invest in it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just like jump casually into Elder Scrolls. Like, it's not something you just play like on a one-off. Like, it's like an investment. So I was like, yeah, this is going to be a lot of content. And right at about that time, I started doing that Resident Evil Village came out. So I said, I'm kind of going with Village right now.
Awesome. So, do you have any like funny moments, maybe jump scares you've experienced throughout games? You're on mute.
See, that happens to me more than you would know. Like live streaming, if it doesn't happen once a stream, it's not a stream. Just we didn't do anything. We weren't live. Yeah, let's see. So I would say the two moments that stick out the most to me are like, there's a game called A Dead of Night, where you're in this hotel and this guy who's I'm not gonna give away names, but you're being chased around the hotel by somebody that's going to whack you on the head, like, and knock you out. And so one of the times, like, you're in this hotel and there's like two different places you can hide, either in the bathroom or in this like chifforobe, this closet thing. And so I got out of the closet thing and was like, oh, I'm gonna go out the door. And he came out of the bathroom. I didn't know he could be in there. And I just like, that was when I said, okay, I've really got to like make sure that I'm taking care of my heart because this is crazy. And then actually, today is Wednesday? Monday, we were playing a new game, called Summer 58. And the creators of this game did this jump scare beautifully because you're like looking at a toilet, right? You're like looking down because there's like something dripping into it. And you're like, is that like poop dripping into this toilet? And then you look up and then there's like some evil creature up above you like drooling it down and you're like, ah, and then it disappears. But that was like one of the most brilliantly well done ones out there.
I believe I was there for your jump scare when you had that game on Monday. I believe I clipped it. It was a funny moment of you just screaming out.
Was it with the bird, when the bird turned into like the zombie? Because that was horrifying. Like, scarred me for life.
So, Raven, what got you into the pirate side of cosplaying?
Very good question. So I've been doing Jack Sparrow for the better part of a decade. It's about 10 years now. I started like at Dragon Con around 2010, 2011. And the cosplay is completely different now. And I'm still finding ways to improve it, like all the time. Like all the time. It's just cosplaying is not cheap. If you want to make it look really pretty, you know? But it started off, and if you watch some of the older VODs, you can kind of see, or even some of the older like TikTok content, like you can see like the older stuff that I had on, like, and it was wild. But I loved the Pirates movies, and I said if I could be anybody, I'd want to be Jack Sparrow. He's absolutely, it's like so much fun, and like I don't know, I just love the vibe. And so I got the costume for Halloween one year, which is like right on my birthday, and then wore it to Dragon Con, and then we started using it in streaming.
Sweet. And you said you like Jack Sparrow. Would you mind rating your favorite Pirates of the Caribbean movie from best to worst?
Oh man, it's hard for me to throw any of them under the bridge. I've got a soft spot in my heart for a lot of them. But I mean, first and foremost, The Curse of the Black Pearl is always my number one. Like, always and foremost, there's nothing more iconic than seeing Jack Sparrow for the first time coming, sailing into harbor and the boat sinking down. I was like, oh, how brilliant is this guy? So that was one of my absolute favorites. Then I'd probably have to say, I mean, Dead Man's Chest is right up there. It's good. I mean, like 1 and 2 absolutely kill it. 1 and 2 absolutely kill it. So it's, yeah, I'd probably say Dead Man's Chest is like tied with, it's probably tied for me with At World's End, I'd say. Like those two kind of share a space for me. And then Dead Men Tell No Tales was okay. I'd probably have to. Dead Men Tell No Tales probably comes before Stranger Tides. I think Stranger Tides would be my lowest. Just because I felt like there wasn't as much Jack in there. Like, it was more side character stuff, and I was like, bring out the pirate man. Like all this love and stuff is fine, right? Whatever. But like, I want to see the pirates.
And do you like the new, not revamped, but like the new versions of the movie? Like I think it was like No Man's Tale. Do you like how they're going with the movie franchise and series?
Well, I'm nervous. Truth be told, I'm nervous because what they're looking at, let's see, the last movie came out when 2017 or so a few years ago, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad rendition. A lot of it does kind of get less gritty and gets more, I don't know, I don't want to say cartoony, but like a little less realistic, like, and magical, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong, I think, with infusing some magic in there, but in the basis of like the first one, other than like the curse, like it wasn't like this giant explosion of like magicka and like, wizardry from all around the world. So, but my biggest worry, first and foremost, is Johnny Depp. If Depp is not Captain Jack Sparrow and they move forward, I can't see anyone replacing him to make me want to watch it. You know what I mean? Even if they got what I've heard speculated, Zac Efron to do young Jack Sparrow. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard rumor milled. But even if they got that, like, I just couldn't care half as much about Zac Efron doing that, no matter how well it's written. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather see like CGI Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow going through the old stuff. I don't know. I think it's just hard. It's hard when if you're not going to have the main protagonist that really sold the franchise. Because I said nobody showed up, at least as far as I know, for like Orlando Bloom. Like, he wasn't the selling point for the movie. Great actor, fantastic, but didn't sell me on it. You know what I mean?
Awesome. So, as you know, you're a pirate in New Cosplay. Have you ever been to Disneyland in California and visit the Pirates of the Caribbean adventure ride?
I've never been in California. I've been in Florida. but never in California. I do want to go out to California. I've got a lot of friends out there, and making some new ones as well. Our friend the Reluctant Hermit's from out there too, and another friend of mine, Crow's Moon, that we're working on games together. Like, a lot of friends are out there. So I think it'd be a lot of fun to go do a Disneyland day in California with all of my Twitch friends.
And if you do end up coming to California, would you like vlog it on your stream on Twitch? Would you create a vlog for video for your YouTube?
I mean, we'd probably definitely have to go live, like 100%. Like, put the phones at risk, on the ride. The only thing is, I don't know if like I can dress up, because most of the time they say you can't look too accurate because then kids might think that you are a park employee. Which I get safety, like 100%. But like, it would be a lot of fun. So yeah, I definitely like we're going live from Dragon Con in Atlanta. 2 weekends from now, and I'm going to be live, and there's a bunch of people from Twitch that are going to be there, so we're going to have a bunch of guest stars, and we're going to be hanging out with just people in public doing Jack Sparrow things. It's just going to be fun.
Awesome. So you actually brought us to our next question about Dragon Con. So you've been there before. Tell us your experience and what you hope to, now that COVID's over, what do you hope that will be there, and a lot of new stuff at Dragon Con.
So what I'm looking for really forward to this year, as I've been before, but I've never and I've had cosplays before, but I've never been like dedicated to cosplays, like, and experimenting with them. I love the fact that like through the streaming community and through people that I've gotten to know on Twitch, that we've amassed at least 6 different cosplays, which are so much fun. So I'm looking forward to doing like different cosplays out there, but also having the Captain Jack cosplay with all the work that's gone into that, like, to be such a next level cosplay, from where it was for me personally. I mean, there's some people out there with brilliant things, but from what I know it started as, I'm looking forward to being out there like that. I'm also looking forward to meeting people, and hopefully bringing more community members in to the Twitch family by being able to meet them out there, hanging out with new people in that space. We're gonna give away a bunch of stickers out at Dragon Con, which should be fun, and then going live from a convention is gonna be a brand new thing altogether. And most years past, it was kind of like we walked around, constantly finding out why the rum is gone, and then like eating Sbarro pizza and going to like a few events. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's a wrestling thing going on. I want to dress up as Macho Man and go and see that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. They've also got some Doctor Who folks coming out. Yeah, Rose Tyler coming out. Christopher Eccleston's coming out. I'm switching up character names and IRL names. But there's gonna be a bunch of people out there, and then a few Harry Potter folks too. Neville Longbottom and a few other things. Jenny Weasley. So yeah, I'm looking forward to like sitting on a few panels and mostly interacting with people. Like, the coolest thing is to see what people have done with their costumes. Like, people work so hard on these things. I don't know. It's gonna be awesome.
Rad. So speaking of conventions, do you ever plan to go to VidCon in October, like 24th, 23rd, or TwitchCon?
I'm not sure I know of the first one. That's a new one for me. But this TwitchCon, 100%. I'm actually just waiting for that. I'm so pumped. No matter where that is, like I don't like to fly. But I'll fly. Like, I'll get out there. You know what I mean? Like, wherever it is, I'll get there. So I'm really, really excited for that. It's going to be a really good one.
So VidCon's actually the same thing as TwitchCon, but for like YouTubers and specifically for YouTube.
Ah, okay. Well, see, this is where I need to get with you, because my YouTube is something that I need to work on. I've been mostly into like making the shorts. So editing video and like doing, submissions like offline gameplay and stuff like that have all intrigued me, but like getting like what all these experts like make look so wonderful. Like, I don't have the set of skills yet that I'd like. So I need to make some friends in that area.
So how many years have you been on Twitch streaming or just being a viewer?
It's a great question. I've been a viewer. I've been a viewer for not actively. I've known of Twitch and I've watched Twitch for probably about 8 years. But I've been an active viewer in the past 2 years. And we've been streaming since last August. So we started, our 1 year is this Sunday.
Amazing, congrats, dude. So, what have inspired or motivated your name on Twitch and you for interviewing, maybe like not interviewing, but like advising people and giving people hope for whoever watches your streams?
Okay, so the first thing was the stream name. Like,
Yes.
where did that come from?
Yes.
So the stream name is actually like based off this tattoo that I have. It's actually like a raven. I teach English, so The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe is my favorite poem. So literally, I was like, what name is not taken out there? So I was like, let's go with a raven armed. Like, I've got I've got it on me. And so it's just kind of become this whole other thing now, which is super sweet. I'm very, very, very grateful for. But yeah, it was like my Xbox gamer tag, you know, like it went from, that's where it started. It was my Xbox gamer tag like a decade ago. And I'm trying to think what it was even before that. It was probably something like something wolf or something, like just something random. But the second part of the question, just rephrase it for me one more time. So you mentioned like about giving people inspiration for streaming specifically.
Yes, for streaming. So what motivates you to continue to inspire and give people hope for whoever who watches your stream, because you're a family-friendly streamer? So do you want any advice you want to give to your viewers once they come and watch you over on Twitch?
Yeah, so like I had this conversation with a friend of mine, the Reluctant Hermit, and it really kind of comes down to this thing like having goals is fantastic, you know what I mean? And like Twitch sets you up with the first few already, like going from affiliate to a partner, and like all these different things people can have as goals. But like at some point in time, like we really had to sit down. This is why I don't have it's in the wash because I wear it so much. We have a shirt that says "Remember why you started," and the reason we started this wasn't to make money and be some type of famous person or like, you know what I mean? Like all these goals are cool, like that Twitch sets up with affiliate and partner and stuff like that. But, oftentimes the metrics and the numbers can get in your head and make you like think that somehow those numbers equivocate to like what you're worth and like who you are and what your time's worth. Like, and it's completely backwards. You know what I mean? Especially because you could have a bad stream and like feel bad about yourself for the next 36 hours, and then you could have a great stream and be on cloud nine, like it just, it goes back and forth so much that if you rely on numbers, like it's taken away from the point of what we're trying to do, at least, you know what I mean? And so what we're after is trying to, and remember why we started. What we wanted to do was like, we love playing video games, and if we can do this and share this experience with others, it's huge. And then beyond that, having a platform where people are coming to watch your stream, like being able to like tell anyone that they matter and that they're important and that they're valuable, like it is like, I would be remiss if I missed that opportunity. Like I would feel horrible if I missed a chance to tell somebody, hey, like, I'm glad you're here. Like, thank you for your time. Like, you're important. Like, you're good enough just the way you are. You don't have to impress anyone. Like, like for me, spreading like that message of positivity and love is like the core of like what, like I'd want the channel to be remembered for. You know what I mean? Like pirate stuff is great. Cosplay is fun. Jump scares, gameplay, whatever. Like we definitely want it to be entertaining. But if somebody gets a message, they say like, "Oh, that's the stream where you go in and you feel like somebody cares about you." So, like if that comes away, then that's what I'm after.
So you want to be remembered as a content creator who helped the community in a way, like giving people a hope for, I don't know, when they're down. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, I mean, not even just like when you're down, but just like reaffirming, even if you're having a good day, being like, heck yes, you had that good day. Let's go. Like, you deserve that, you know, like you're awesome. Don't forget that you're awesome, you know? So it just and there's so many negative things out there. And this is why we do the family friendly thing, is that like anybody could hop on and watch somebody cursing at Battlefield, like, or Modern Warfare, like that happens. It's out there, you know what I mean? And if that's what you like, then like there's plenty of it, you know what I mean? But what you don't see often enough is enough people like really pouring into the people that are there and like taking the time to appreciate them. And I've been very fortunate enough to connect with a lot of those people. Because I feel kind of like there's a saying like attracts like, you know, so like I feel like I've been able to meet a lot of those people that are doing that through this. So it expanded my version of Twitch, because in my head I was just saying like, oh, either you're like super famous and you're super awesome at games, or you're super aggressive and nobody gives you any crap, right? Not like that. It could be a place where, oh, you can come here and like, I didn't know that there was Twitch community. I didn't know that it mattered. You know, like before like streaming, I was like, oh, you just watch people that are good at games play games. And like realizing that there's a whole other layer behind it, where there's relationships like building and forming and shaping, and yeah, it's just so much more to it than people like would have ever known.
Awesome. So your next question is, what is it like being a family-friendly streamer? And do you have any limitations to what you can and cannot do?
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's self-imposed limitations, right? There's self-imposed because, you know, one, there's not a whole lot of family-friendly streamers to begin with. There's not a whole lot. If you look at the category, there's just not a ton of them. But two, I wanted to, in this space, never exclude anybody. You know what I mean? I don't need to I especially as an English teacher, my job is to teach my students better ways to express themselves than using 4-letter words all the time, because there's a lot of words out there in the English language. You know what I mean? So if you can be craftier, you can say things, you know, to express yourself in much more meaningful ways. And that's, a lot of people get logged into they get bogged down in their vocabulary. Like, their vocabulary limits them and how they can express themselves. So I was like, I don't need to express myself using this thing so much that I can't forego any type of thing and monitor myself. That way every single person that wants to come in can see. You know what I mean? And we've got lots of families that watch, like families that like, they give their kids the iPad, like, go watch The Pirate. Like, you know, like, I mean, I've seen some of the cutest videos of like kids like with their little pirate Jack Sparrow hat on watching the stream, and it just like, it'll melt you. Like, it's absolutely, you know, wonderful. So, you know, typically we refrain from any type of like obscenities and try to find more clever ways to do that, which is fun, because me and like Hermit and our new friend, new addition to the Caring Creators team, Bjorn, you're always like finding new ways to like express ourselves with funny new words. You know what I mean? And it just makes it wholesome to where nobody's gonna pop in there and be like, oh, I've got to worry about something. Like, no, like, if you come by, you're gonna experience somebody caring about you. It's gonna be silly, it's gonna be goofy, and you know, I don't want anybody to be at all stressed, except for maybe when we're playing the scary games. then you can hang on the edge of the seat.
That's amazing, dude. So, speaking of family friendly, is there any moments in time where you wanted to do something but you had to like restrain yourself and you couldn't do it on stream, or maybe like express yourself in a certain way?
Not necessarily. I don't feel like I've been limited in any way by this. Especially once you kind of like once you establish it and that like that's what it is, and once, even more importantly, once the community knows what it is. Once it's no longer like, because it's no longer me enforcing this. It's like, we have a mod team that absolutely kills it in the background and in the foreground on Twitch, you know, between there and Discord. But when the community hops in and they're the ones that see something off, and they're the ones saying like, hey, like, it becomes like just a state of being for the channel itself, which it's an honor and it's amazing to have that happen. I'd probably say the only thing we have to really try to limit, and something that I kind of discovered after a while, is certain games. And I kind of discovered that thing, we're family friendly, but I was realizing some of the games we were playing, I was like was we do like scary games, but I was like, some of this is probably a little too gory, maybe. Like for that, like that's why I don't play like Dead by Daylight on stream. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm like I have no problem with the game, you know. But like Phasmophobia is like a great type of like super basic scary, nothing too graphic. But like if I'm a child, I'm watching somebody like get like pierced on a hook, like I don't know if I'm letting my kid watch that. You know what I mean? I don't have kids, but like if I had one, I don't know if I'd let them watch that, even if it was labeled family. So we're constantly working on trying to be more consistent across the board with the family friendly thing, you know, like. But I'd probably say just maybe gameplay.
Awesome. So you mentioned you were a teacher, an English teacher. How do you manage your time wisely for when you're at your IRL job and you have content to produce for your viewers?
That is difficult. That's probably the most difficult thing. Weekends are always great. Try to do a lot of stuff on the weekends. I work from like 7 to 4 ish, and then I get home. I get like a 20 minutes lunch break, so I do a lot of stuff on my lunch break. Like on this 20-minute thing, while I have students in the room, I'm like trying to hit all these things, or right before work, like I'll try to get like a tweet out there. And then when I get home, I've got usually about 3 hours, because it's about 5 o'clock when I get home and get my stuff done. I get about 3 hours to eat and get any content I want done. So it's go, 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 go. That's why like today, like Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Saturdays, days that I'm not streaming. That's why I only stream 4 nights a week too. Those are my nights to try to play catch up. You know what I mean? Like, but it's always go. It's always go. Like there's very, very, very few breaks. From sun up to sundown, we rock and roll.
You sound like a very busy man. So do any of your students know who you are and what you do on Twitch?
None of my current ones. Some of my students that graduated from the old high school I used to teach at, I think they may know, but I don't think I've ever seen them in chat. What's really funny though is a lot of people that I grew up with are finding the stream. People that I used to like play recreational league baseball with, like, are finding the stream, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, this is nuts. Like, you know, so it's kind of cool, especially with people that you might have lost touch with. It's like a cooler version of like getting a Facebook friend request, because you're like, oh, what's up? Welcome in. I'm a pirate now.
So let's go ahead and talk a bit more about your YouTube. You have a lot of highlight clips. Do you mind telling us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so the YouTube was something that I'm working on. I've been like really in the YouTube short area, working on that. I've been using a program called Streamladder that kind of makes it look a little bit cleaner for the vertical alignment for anything that we've gotten from Twitch. And I'm looking to get a lot more content for it from TwitchCon. TwitchCon, I hope. But from DragonCon, I even got like a little like recorder thing so I can get there. So I'm trying to do that. I think the thing that holds me back with that is the editing. Because I only have like a really basic video editor. And even if I had a really good one, I'd still need someone to kind of like, I learn better in person, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like if we're like in a Discord call or something like that, somebody's like, hey, here's how I do the edits. You know what I mean? Like, because if not, like if I'm trying to like watch other YouTube videos over here of how they do it and then trying to translate over here, like sometimes it can get murky. So, but YouTube is an area that I definitely want to get better at, because I've learned through TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, there's different content for all 4 platforms. Like you don't need to be putting the same thing on each one. And I'm guilty of letting my Instagram kind of run my Facebook. But it's just 'cause I'm not very active on Facebook.
So tell us about your one video that's blowing up, your I Gotta Draw Dirt video. And then for TikTok, this is a 2-part question. For TikTok, tell us about the one video about the genie in the bottle and your one wish.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. So the Jar of Dirt video was a perfect. It just lined up perfectly from Twitch, and that's That was when they Sea of Thieves introduced the Pirate's Life add-on, and then as soon as the Flying Dutchman, Davy Jones' ship, came up out of the water, I was like, "Oh, this is perfect!" And so I just rolled straight into the pirate line of like, "I'm gonna join it, I'm gonna join it," like, and it was great. It was great. So I loved that moment. It was a lot of fun, and I was glad we could experience that live with our friends on Twitch. After that, the genie in the bottle thing, somebody actually recommended to me long before I did it, like months before I did it. Like it had already been a thing, and I kind of missed the window of like that thing being popular. You know, there's a bunch of trends, like, but I liked it, and I was like, you know what, I've got the cosplay for this, because a lot of people were doing it without the cosplay, like, you know, and they were just, it was like something awesome, but I was like, okay, so let me put the cosplay with this and see what that looks like. So, and that's the kind of stuff that I want to get into more. So I trying to find videos that kind of match the cosplay stuff that we do. So if anyone has ideas, like, hey, you've got a cosplay for this, and there's this thing going around, like, you should try to do it. And I will listen this time instead of waiting 5 months to do it.
So I recently just saw your Facebook. Tell us about your post you posted 5 hours ago.
5 hours ago. Okay, so during my first period at the school I'm at, I don't have a room. There's no room for me. No, like I've got somebody else teaching in my classroom. So I was sitting in my car just for 2 hours, basically waiting for my first class to start. And they're like, you don't have to do that. You can use the book room. So I'm like in this little like a hideaway cubby space book room underneath like the stairs, and there's a bunch of books there, but I'm just sitting in there. There's like no cell phone service or anything. So I'm just like tucked away with these books. I was like, well, I guess I might as well read, right? But I was able to take a picture and then like get outside to like get service to like send it off.
Tell us about more about your Twitter, about a giveaway for a horror game, Malum.
Yeah, it's called Malum. So in theory, if things work tomorrow, we've got a game that it doesn't come out to September. It's kind of like Phasmophobia meets Devour, in which you're gathering items to try to like banish these evil beasts that have kind of come up into the world. But what's interesting is you kind of get like once you find all the items, you actually get like flintlocks to go and like actually destroy the monster. It doesn't just disappear. So you still have to go and destroy the monster. So it's a lot of fun. But last time we tried to play it, it shut down. It wouldn't work. It still hasn't worked for me through Steam. So I'm trying to figure out how to make that happen. So if it works, we're going to be giving that game away. And we're also going to be, a friend of ours, Autism Drift Team, has made a custom t-shirt for the game. And so we're going to be giving both of those items away.
Awesome. So tell us about your Twitch goals. What goals have you achieved or plan to achieve in the near future?
Man, see, that's always a hard question. Twitch goals is probably the hardest question, because if your goals aren't necessarily like follower or monetary or my goal is to meet more friends and have more people enjoying in the experience we have. I'd love to have obviously more people in there at one time, to the point that I can handle it. I like it when chat is rolling. You know what I mean? Like when there's enough people in there and chat is rolling and I'm able to just like bounce. Like it's such high energy for me. It's just like it's so much fun. People are like, how do you get the energy? And it's literally from people being in chat. Like if people are so stoked to be talking to me, I'm so stoked to be talking to them. It's a back and forth like symbiotic thing. And so I love it when it's rolling. So having more friends in that capacity is good. I think the only other thing is if we could get up to 1,700 subscribers, we get another emote, which I think would be sweet, because it gives us more room to add some fun things.
Awesome. So separating from the Twitch questions, what are your IRL life goals that you plan to improve on or want to commit to do?
I need to take a vacation. I need to go to the beach. I need to go to the beach and find out why the rum is gone. Because I've been going very heavy, like very, very quickly. We moved, from a town I'd lived in for 10 years to a new town, new job, and then doing that in Twitch every day. It's just go, go, go. So it'd be nice to take some time to kind of relax. Need to get back into fighting shape again.
You're a boxer?
MMA.
Oh, MMA.
I do mixed martial arts. So, yeah. So I need to get back into fighting shape. I need to get my endurance up. That's a goal this year. I want to be able to, fight for at least half an hour solid without gassing out. And, the past year with all the pandemic events and everything kind of made it to where you can't really easily grapple with somebody. You know what I mean? And practice that skill in a public gym setting. So I think that, and then to maybe just stay healthy.
And do you watch any boxing?
I do. I've seen some. I don't follow it as much as I do MMA, but I do watch some.
All right. So this is a very creative question to start of. What are your current thoughts on the Fluffy the comedian versus Jake Paul and Logan Paul?
Selling tickets. They should throw Conor McGregor in there as a 3-way fight and just have them all wail on each other. It would be hilarious. It's all about making money at this point in time, which is fun, but a lot of the integrity behind a lot of the sports are losing the way to entertainment. You know what I mean? If it's funny or fun, why not? But there's a lot of people that are in gyms fighting to try to get a shot at some stuff, and I got a feeling that people that have millions of TikTok viewers will probably have a better shot at getting in the ring publicly than people that are actually,
They're trained
capable.
to do it.
I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, whatever makes the money is kind of the way the sports seem to be going.
Sweet. So, how'd you get into gaming, and what inspired you to pick up the controller or console or keyboard and mouse and continue gaming? And what was your first console? So that's a 2-part question.
So, the first console I had was the original NES. I saved up a bunch of money. My sister had just been born that year, so I saved up a bunch of money in a wipey box, for baby wipes. And I saved up $72. I think I got an allowance of $5 a week or something like that, with me cutting grass and everything like that with a push mower. So it was, I worked hard for it, and I went out and had my $72, and I bought the console, and man, if I had it now, it'd be worth a lot. It came in a blue Nintendo zip case with all these games and the controllers and the Duck Hunt stuff. Anyways, I loved that. That was my first console. Before that, we had a PC, and I was playing the education games. Jumpstart, first grade, third grade, fourth grade, that kind of stuff. And then the library, I think, was at the public library was my first experience ever playing a game. They had one of this old, it's MS-DOS, put in the floppy disk and load it up. And it was something about it was that old. It was something about an elf on a mountain trying to find these keys. I don't remember what it is, but it was great. So I don't know, I was hooked ever since that. I think the big driving factor, we went from Nintendo to Sega Genesis, and it was always a lot of fun. And a lot of us and our friends did it, but I think the big thing that sunk me into gaming was around 2000, in the early 2000s, when the original Xbox came out. It was unfindable that Christmas, and my aunt had gone to California and found 2, and and so I got one, and it was just to this day, my parents would be like, yeah, you remember Xbox Christmas? It was it's the Christmas. So I think since then, I was also I didn't have a lot of friends in high school. I was homeschooled until I went to high school. And then in high school, I went to a private school where, I didn't really know how to relate to people, because I'd only been around my mother and my brother, so I didn't have the social skills that I needed yet. And so video games were a way for me to escape. I could immerse into a story, and I was good at it, and I liked it. You know what I mean? So yeah, video games were there for me when I needed someone.
So what game did you play on the NES? Did you play any Smash Bros? Any Donkey Kong?
Oh, you mean the N64?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. That's it, because I don't remember there being a Smash for the NES, but if there was, I would have played it. So the N64, my favorite, Ocarina of Time, GoldenEye 007. I did play Smash Brothers. Was really good at it. I used to practice solo versus 2 level 9 Luigis. Yeah, so good. I mean, there's so many games for that system. It's one of the most iconic consoles, and it really changed the game, especially having saves like Pokemon Snap. Like, come on, Pokemon Stadium, like Mario 64. Like, you could go on and on with the titles, because the world became 3-dimensional. The world became savable. The world became something that you could experience in more than just like I hit start and that pauses the game and hopefully nobody touches it and it shuts off.
Yes, definitely. So, what are your current thoughts on the current trend of many big companies such as Sony creating games based on creating movies based on their games? Just like Sonic.
It's kind of the reversal of the way things used to be in the 80s, right? They had E.T. and then they were trying to make it into a game and it becomes the worst game of all time. So I'm not saying that the reciprocal is the same, but if you take any concept and try to put it through a different medium, whichever medium it had the most success in, it's probably going to be hard for it to live up to expectations. I think one of the only series I think that's done that really strategically and well is done it through episodic things, being The Witcher. The Witcher did a really good job. I think they did a great job with casting, and they did well. Things like Sonic, I don't know if they could take off. They tried it with Mario Brothers, and some of them are cult classics, but they're not box office films, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But any way people can try to diversify the medium, like that something's ended to make more money. Again, that's what it boils down to. Like, can this make anything? So I think if they spent the time and dedication with it, that it could work well. But a lot of times it seems like we're getting cheap, quick fixes, and they throw like one big actor in there, right? Like here Ryan Reynolds is, X-Man. I say X-Man, like, goodness gracious. That's a terrible example. But yeah, I think if they put the quality into them, that they could get a lot of them. But I think it's just, I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't know. It's yet to be seen.
Yeah. So, what was your inspiration for starting out when you first started to become a content creator? Do you always have the idea of becoming a Twitch streamer, or do you want to go to a different platform like Facebook Gaming, Mixer, or YouTube?
I dabbled on Mixer before I went to Twitch, and I had a lot of success through Mixer. But I got in on the very end of it. It died out right after I started. So I didn't have some people have I was partnered with Mixer and everything was going great, and then it just died. So I didn't have that experience where I got dropped way heavy. But a lot of people did. Twitch has been good to me thus far. You know what I mean? I wish that they were more like YouTube in the way that they treat their content creators. But again, they're also very selective about who gets into that upper echelon. You know what I mean? And so it's hard to do. I feel like it would be harder to get established with YouTube, or it would take more time. You know what I mean? And Twitch is more, I think, directly streamer friendly, especially if you're starting out. But if you're an experienced content creator, then I think that YouTube is probably the pathway to go with. If you're Harris Heller and you're Dr. Disrespect, you could stream on a app you make called the Zaboomafoo and people are gonna watch it. It's not gonna matter.
And actually, speaking of Harris Heller, he was partnered on Twitch, as you may know, but he removed his partnership and moved over to YouTube. and once that started to fail,
Mhm.
he went back to Twitch. So I am guessing that Twitch is the way to go if you want to be a live stream content creator. So
Yeah, yeah, it's funny. I saw him. I saw his stream running for like 24 hours, so I tweeted at him and whatever, and he actually responded, which was cool. So, but yeah, I was like, bro, your stream is messed up. It's just the same 8 seconds of this clip, and he had said in his recent tweets that it was a test thing. So, yeah, he didn't stay there long, but he's got such a great thing going with Stream Beats and Alpha Gaming. Like, it's hard to, I think he's just trying to diversify as best he can, which makes sense.
amazing. So Raven, what are you like off screen when you're not in front of a camera? What are your hobbies? What do you do to enjoy yourself, enjoy your time?
I'm tired. I'm kidding. No, but usually offline. Usually, I'll go and I try to work out a good bit. I train martial arts with a friend of mine, my sensei, and I'm a big family person, so I like to see like my family as much as possible. And they live in the same state, so it's easy to get some time with them. But other than that, if it's not that or watching like some films, I'm still playing games. Like, I'm trying to play games offline with my friend. I wish I had more time to do it. But when you only get like 2 or 3 hours a day just for you, it's difficult. You know what I mean? Like, and on these days, like we have off where I don't stream. That's why today works, because like I don't stream tonight, so I'm not like in a rush. But like I've got other meetings set up all day, and I still like to get in some games with my friends.
Speaking of games, this actually brings to our next question. What is your favorite game series or franchise, and why?
It's a great one. So it's changed a lot over time. It has, honestly. But I'd probably have to say, sticking through and through, the Halo series was there for me. At least 1 through 3 die-hard dedicated. 4 I started slipping. 5 I was almost completely removed for. But as far as consistency, Halo, that whole franchise, when 343, before 343 owned it and it was Bungie, it was the best. Like, the best. Bungie's Halo was like my favorite time period of gaming in that type of arena. But then Bungie goes to Destiny, and Destiny was great until it became a way to sell DLC every 8-9 months. Like, like if you bought the game 5 times, but here's another $80 thing you got to buy if you want to do what people are doing. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably have to stay with Halo. Like, that's, all time. I could go back and play that today and just have a blast.
Awesome. So speaking of Halo, what are your current thoughts on the new Halo game coming out soon? I believe it's called like Halo Infinite or something about that.
Yeah, Halo Infinite. I'm apprehensive. I think they had a great thing going. I think they hit a great stride with 3, and then trying to make it, more than skill. And like, also the thing that gets me about these is like all the additional abilities that these things keep getting. You know what I mean? Like, you've got like jetpacks, and you've got like strafing, and you've got like, I get having some cool things like bubble dome, like dual wielding was iconic for the second one, and the third one you had a lot of different new additions too. But the more and more you keep adding on, the more and more convoluted the gameplay gets, to where it's hard to hone in on a specific skill, because there's so many varieties of ways to play. And that's just me personally. Some people may love the variety, but I kind of like being able to like get really good with like a gun or like a situation. And again, I'm also apprehensive about 343 Studios, like or India Industries. 343 has done okay, but I've not been like super impressed since Bungie left.
Understandable, very understandable. So, Raven, what do you see yourself, your Twitch community, and your personal life in the next 5 years? Do you still see yourself being a Twitch partner and making content for viewers?
I hope for that every single day. I don't want to stop. It is my happy place. I love it. It brings me so much joy to be able to have the opportunity to come and spend that kind of time, because it's like a birthday party. It's my analogy I used every time. It's like a birthday party. I get to come hang out with my friends, and we all get to play games together, and I get to eat cheese balls and like dress up. It's an absolute blast. So I'm hoping in the future, like there's even more people that want to come and hang out and join in the birthday party, and join in on the fun. It would be awesome. And I really want to help other people too. Like I've been very fortunate, very blessed, especially in this past year, to be able to accomplish a lot of Twitch goals that people spend a long time working for, years and years. And so I want to do my best to like help people that have goals that I feel like most people should be able to have the opportunity to get to. You know what I mean? Like, and so I don't know. I want to give back as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like
donate to
and
charity.
then make new friends. Yeah. We've got a few charity things coming up too, and then we also, our merch store, everything that people buy from our merch store goes straight to charity, like automatically. So like that's the thing. So like giving like that, but it's more than like being like, hey, can you donate money to this cause? I'd like to like seriously try to like help people invest in like invest in themselves and be able to like invest in others. You know what I mean? Because kind of like smiling is contagious. If you smile, like somebody, like is apt to smile too. And if they smile at two other people, then it starts spreading like that. You know what I mean? So if we can get people that have these goals and likewise messages of like trying to help and care about people out there, then I think that Twitch could be a revolutionary place outside of just being a gaming platform. I would much rather Twitch be known for the positive love of certain streamers than for hot tub streams. That's what I want in the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want out there. Like, here's a place where you can go and feel cared about.
Amazing. So
anyway,
your current response just reminded me of a current topic we talked about on yesterday's podcast about Twitch and the evolution of how the community went from being super friendly to sort of toxic. Because I'll just give you a quick example of yesterday's. But like, so this is a streamer. She's an amazing streamer. She tries her best to be so enthusiastic, but there's so many toxic community members in Twitch itself. Just going after harassing her and asking her for weird stuff. Do you believe that Twitch, as you as a partner, will listen to you and improve on certain subjects that are a bit iffy to talk on stream?
I don't know if any one single voice can move a mountain like Twitch and changing anything in some of this facets, but it's the collective voice of the whole. So yeah, in a way, people that do have a platform, I think it's important for them to use these platforms for these positive purposes and trying to help make it a safer space for everyone involved. But it's really up to the communities as a whole to spread that message. And this is why I tell people, like, you don't know what you do as a viewer, the impact that you have, because it's not like I could get out there and say anything, but it's the reaction and the role that everyone that comes to hang out in the community and like how they take behind a subject that's going to change things, right? Because I'm just one person, but together we can do amazing things.
Amazing. So now let's talk about your Twitch channel. What are some crazy, or your social media platform, what are some crazy replies you received over on your TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch? And part two, same question is, what are some crazy redemptions you have on your Twitch streams?
So crazy replies. I feel like some of the best replies that I get, like on TikTok, are duets. I love it when people duet things. It's like the most fun thing I've ever seen. There's a friend of ours, I know Rebel Rex, who a while ago sent, I'll never forget it. That's the first time I'd ever had anybody do something like this, but they sent me a video of them just like dancing to like our hype song that we play on stream, you know? And to me, like, you know, I've seen a few people do it since then, but to me, that just makes me feel like so happy because it makes me feel like I'm a part of my own community. If that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's easy to feel like you're the streamer and then the community is like to the side, you know what I mean? Like this thing, but it made me feel like oh, this like I can be hyped about somebody doing what we do, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. So it was a great moment. And then I'd say some of the channel point things that are crazy. The one that's always crazy is this monkey. I've got a monkey right here. I can reveal the monkey. So I've got a monkey here that's always giving me problems. Like always giving me problems. You can see his little tush hanging out here. He's just spinning around. So we've got a thing to bring Jack down, and he is a wild and crazy kid, which is a lot of fun. But we're starting to integrate multiple of the cosplay things into like redemptions during the same stream, like doing some Macho Man. I'd say my favorite thing are the impressions, though. I love trying new impressions. I want to get into voice acting. That is a big goal of mine that I'd love to make happen, whether it's in gaming or, you know, in any space. But I've got a variety of things that we do, and I'm willing to try any of them, willing to try anybody. So it's always fun to see what people come up with. And I like to use a lot of the recommendations. We're at the max capacity for community rewards as far as channel point redemptions go right now. Like, so if I want a new one, I've got to get rid of an old one. So that's a thing.
Oh wow. So speaking of your community redemptions, would you mind giving us a couple examples of which ones are your most popular?
So we've got I said the impressions are like probably the most popular thing. People love the jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. So I actually have like an actual jar of dirt. Believe it or not, I have a full jar of dirt. And then I have a smaller jar of dirt that I wear about my head. But another thing that we do, which is really fun, is we've got Sad Cat Diary Stories. This was a book given to me by one of my mods, Elfie, and I was just creating these off the fly out of my head. Just, I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. That's a YouTube thing that's popular, where it's like a sad cat, sad dog diary stories, and they'll go like, "Dearest human, today you were 3 hours late. I shall never forgive you for this.
Is that Morgan Freeman?
I have eaten all the things." It kind of sounds like Morgan Freeman. It's like, it's not far away, but it's not far away from Morgan Freeman. No one forgets more like, every time Morgan Freeman walks outside, he gets a freckle. Like it's, but so this is it's a similar voice. But now we were reading like these books where it's like these poems that cats wrote, and it's called "I Could Pee on This." It's just funny because at the end of every one of their stories, it's like, "I shall pee on the floor for comfort."
That's rad.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like it. There's a lot going on, and a lot of people are saving for the Perma VIP. So we've got the VIP thing, you know, like the diamond. I think right now it's 150,000 channel points to get it. We've had 2 redeemed. It goes up 25,000 points every time somebody gets one. So yeah, it's at 150,000 channel points, and you can be a permanent VIP in the channel.
Sweet. So would you mind giving us a little example of these voices? So I'll give you a topic, and you maybe could voice it.
Sure.
All right. Gordon Ramsay trying to shake hands with Elmo.
Oh man, Gordon Ramsay and Elmo. See, these are not ones that I do, but I'll definitely try it. Gordon Ramsay, okay. Trying to shake hands with him?
Yes.
Okay. Are you doing it all wrong? What kind of bloody handshake is that? It's all flimsy. It's the worst handshake I've ever. It's the worst handshake I've ever seen. I've never seen a handshake so absolutely horrible. You should get out of here.
I've only got 3 fingers to hold your hand with.
I can't believe this is happening right now. with a Muppet. Where's Jim Henson? I have an issue with this thing. I have an issue with the Muppet. Like, I don't know.
That was fantastic. I loved it. So I tuned in on your stream once, and you commented that you were vegan or vegetarian. What is it like being a vegetarian?
So I used to be formerly. I was a vegetarian for 4 years, and I was a vegan for about 4 months, and then I realized I was hopelessly addicted to cheese, so I don't know if I could get away from that. But being a vegetarian wasn't hard. There's so many different products out there that they make nowadays that like you almost wouldn't even notice it. And I still have a lot of vegetarian products. Like I've got veggie burgers and like chicken and stuff like that I still use. But I'm not gonna say that I'm diehard vegetarian anymore. A lot of the soy started messing with my body a bit, you know. And not to say that there's anything like you can do vegetarian, you can be completely healthy, like 100%. But just for me, I've not made the choice again to go fully back to it yet. But I have considered it again. I eat more like low carbohydrate than anything. So it's like, all right, if I cut out bread, cheese, and meat, I am going to go find a bird's nest and just see what they're eating.
So tell us your experience once you were past tense when you were a vegetarian. What was your favorite meal? Your favorite vegetarian meal, and what was what was it like? What was it like eating something it's not high in fats or high in calories or carbs?
So I think my favorite, hands down, was this place, and they sold. It was the taco stand, and they sold tofu burritos, and it was the best thing in the world. It was absolutely the best thing in the world, and I loved it. It was like 9,000 calories, and I loved every second of it. Yeah, that's my favorite. It wasn't hard. I guess my workout goals just changed, and my weight loss goals changed. So, my diet habits changed as well. I was also, as classically told, I was in a relationship with someone at the time that was, they were like diehard vegetarian. So that's kind of how I started.
Oh.
And then after that dissipated, it kind of, I hung on to it for a while, but it faded off a little bit.
Interesting, very interesting. So tell us more about your cosplay. What do you buy your cosplay costumes, and what kind of cosplay characters do you have?
So a lot of the new ones I've been getting off Amazon for the base kits, and then I'll find other items through eBay if they have higher quality items, and then there's also oh my goodness, Etsy, where people make a lot of handmade stuff, and they're a little more expensive, obviously, but you're getting a lot better quality there. But like the actual wig, like my Jack Sparrow wig, like I made that myself, like so. I'm getting better at the things, because my goal would be to like make a lot of the stuff in home. That way I can say it's my own creation and not just like, something I just got out there. But some things like I've had to piece together from multiple sources.
So speaking of your hobbies and Twitch, what's something you absolutely love to do every single day for the rest of your life?
Like besides streaming?
Yes, besides streaming.
Something I do, and besides eating tacos, between doing those things, I mean, like, if I can game, I can have some tacos. Shout out to Brett X, and I can have, the streaming platform. Probably the only other thing would be like, being able to work out, Like I like the feeling of finishing a workout, the way it like affects my endorphins, my testosterone levels, like that feeling of accomplishment, like I've done it and I've reached a new milestone, or my endurance has gone up. I think that's a very, very rewarding experience of immediate reward for output. You know what I mean? Even if it takes a while to get to your goals, like that's the okay. Here, great analogy for Twitch, right? So even if you're not, even if you have like one great stream is not going to make you affiliate or partner, or whatever your goal is. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to get like 5,000 followers in a stream if your goal is 5,000 followers. You know what I mean? But that one stream makes a huge difference in your life, in your mindset, and in the mindset of everyone that shows up because they took the time to come and see it. So I'd say never take a stream for granted because you were healthy enough to do it. You know what I mean? Anyone that came out, you know what I mean? Like how amazing it is that somebody's going to spend their time when they could be on, they don't have to be on Twitch. They could be out reading a book and catching butterflies. They could do anything, like they could do whatever they wanted to. Or they could be on like 150 million other streamers' pages. So anyways, I know that's a long tangent, but yeah. I'd say because of the immediate reward of working out, that's what I'd feel. And streaming kind of has the same thing. You get the immediate response of like, man, I put myself out there and I had fun.
Awesome, that's rad. So, speaking of Twitch, what's something people sort of misunderstand about you or don't understand what you do or what you stand for because you're a family-friendly streamer and you're not custom or used to being in a community well-known and very PG or G?
We haven't been having, we really don't have as many issues with the family-friendly stuff as people would think. I was thinking that we'd have a lot more when we first were really diving hard into it, but we really haven't had that many issues with the family-friendly thing. Like people will hop in and then somebody will curse, and then like somebody that even knows the rules will curse or bring something up, and then the mods will pull them aside, and they're great at this, and they're so kind about it. You know what I mean? And I'm the same way, and they'll come back and be like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, I love you. Like, don't stress about it. You know what I mean? We just got to keep integrity across the board. Like, it happens. You know what I mean? Same thing. Like, if a kid cusses in my class, I'm not going to be like, get out, never come back. Like, I'm like, hey, let's rephrase that. Let's work on that for next time so that way we can be better. You know what I mean? But you don't know who's listening. You don't know who's watching your channels. And it could be anybody. And so we want to make sure that we have the same like policy across the board with that. Things people might misunderstand. I don't know if people, I'd probably say the only thing people might not know is like how many different communications we have every day. I try to respond to everybody, but and people are usually good about this, but if I ever miss something from things, like there are messages on like 6 different social media platforms, and there's like 800 people in our Discord, and so people will be like I don't know. I don't think we've really had this issue because I'm usually good about responding, but if it takes me hours to respond, I don't want people to get offended because there's a lot happening, and again, I only have that space in between like real work and streaming at night, so it's hard to get back to everybody, but I value people enough that like I definitely try.
Awesome. So your next question is what's the biggest failure you went through or experienced, then you accomplished in a sort of way that you gained knowledge from it and have that sort of experience going through certain phases or failures?
So, in relation to Twitch,
both IRL and
or
Twitch.
in life,
Both.
IRL, biggest failure IRL. Freshman year of college, I partied so hard and hung out and did not go to class and played video games till 4 a.m, and I spent the next 6 years making up for it, trying to get my GPA back up and having to pay for school that I had a scholarship for. If I had just gone to class, I wouldn't have had to pay for. So I would say probably the biggest thing is like, if you're going to do something, commit to it 100%, like don't do anything half-butt, as my grandfather would say. Like don't do anything halfway. If you're gonna do something, commit to it. If you're gonna do a cosplay, don't limp into it. Do it. Like put you what you got it. If you're gonna stream, do it. Put yourself out there. You know what I mean? Like don't be scared. You've got this. You're awesome. In Twitch, I would probably say biggest failure for me was almost giving up because of numbers. There was a point in time in like September of last year, and I was just like looking at the numbers, and they were just going down and down and down. I had like 1 or 2 people in the the stream, and I was just like, man, and I'm dressing up for cosplay every single stream, and it just felt like I was like, man, I'm trying so hard and I can't I can't seem to like break through the mold. You know what I mean? And then becoming a viewer more than a streamer really helped change that dynamic. Because if you're just a streamer, it's hard to acquire viewers. If you're a viewer that's active in communities and you become known, like when you turn on your camera, people are going to show up because you've met people. It's about relationships. People aren't just going to magically be like, oh, look, unless you're famous on another platform, people aren't just going to say like, hey, let's go find this channel that Twitch is not going to give algorithmic support to. And let's just hop in there. It's hard to discover, you know what I mean? But if you make relationships, if you make friendships, that's what it's about. That's why like, I mean, I write letters to like people that win like giveaways all the time. Anytime they get like stickers, like I do handwritten letters to them to tell them, hey friend, like you matter. Thank you for being you, et cetera, like, because it's about the relationships, you know what I mean? Like that's the kind of stuff that really promotes it. But it was a friend of mine, one of my mods, my oldest mod, my original mod, Nyats 508, the stream mechanic, he sat me down and said, man, you can't give up right now. You can't do it. Like, it's just like, it changes, it fluctuates in the week. And that's not why we started doing this, So like, it's just like, you got to push through those barriers. And if I'd have stopped and been like, streaming things just not for me, I don't know where I'd be right now. I certainly wouldn't be here talking to you.
Well, since you experienced all of that, would you mind giving the viewers a sort of little inspiration if they're feeling down or are in the same position you once were in?
Yeah, if you get to that spot and you need to take a day away, but don't give up on something if you really want it. You know what I mean? Like if you really like, if it's a dream of yours, like, or even something that you just like, if you like doing it, don't let the numbers mess you up. Don't let numbers take away the fun of playing video games and hanging out with people. Because think about how cool LAN parties were. Like you bring your consoles together, you hook them up, you get some pizza, some Dr. Pepper, you hang out, you laugh, you play games, you're socializing. This is what we get to do with people across the world, and it's beautiful and it's amazing. And if just one person shows up to hang out while you're playing a game, that is so sick. Like, that is amazing. Because somebody's hanging out playing a game that they could be watching you play a game that they can play themselves. They're there for you. And that's just the coolest feeling. So don't give up based on numbers. You're worth more than any number.
Awesome. That's very awesome. So this is a question to your previous answer about voice acting. So as you may know or you may not know, that we interviewed many Dhar Mann actors. They're very big on YouTube. It's a sort of inspirational videos, like clips. Would you ever consider being a voice actor for a YouTube TV show or any featured films?
Yeah, 1000%. Anytime somebody, like, if I could have the opportunity to work with somebody, I'd love to. Like, that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, hit me up. So it's hard to. I'm not going to disclose any personal information about any direct conversation I've had with somebody, but it is hard sometimes when people rely on you and you can't fix the situation and all you want to do is care about that person. I think the hardest thing is like knowing when like you can give friendly advice and when you know that like you're not qualified to speak on matters and that you really need to like get them some professionals to help them attend that situation. And so we have a mental health section of our Discord, and we've got some moderators that are really great and are really good at referring people to that kind of stuff. But I'm not a social worker and I'm not a therapist. And so, all I can do is love on someone. But what's hard is like, making sure that if someone needs that help, that they don't feel passed off, but like they understand, like, I really care about you, but I don't want to give you advice that I'm not qualified to give.
Awesome. So yeah, many content creators, either on Twitch or YouTube, have the same sort of issue that many of the community members or maybe the viewers have certain issues they have with them in the personal life that they just don't know how to express it properly. Have you ever had a one-on-one with a viewer or just yourself in general when you had low self-esteem or yeah mental health issues or felt so down that you didn't find any hope?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've gone through that before. Definitely. At multiple points in time in life, starting high school, I was that way coming from homeschool. I didn't know how to relate to people. I felt so outcast, like I didn't fit into the whole world. I did that. And then when you start to put the value of yourself, like a lot of times I have is like a lot of that stuff is built on self-worth and purpose. So I'd also worked jobs at university where I felt like there was no purpose in this job. Like you could have a mop sit here and do what I'm doing, and this is absolutely like there's no point in this. You know what I mean? Like feeling like you're in a dead end, and that kind of like feeling there's no way out of that situation. And that situation took 3 years for me to get out of. But yeah, those situations happen. I think the biggest thing to remember in those situations when you feel like giving hope is that like life can completely change like that if you make it in a second. You could pick up right now. You could go to a different city, a different state, different town. You could take a bus somewhere, get a job at a fast food joint, and find a place to crash until you get something started. You know what I mean? Even like a low budget motel, and you could start life over. You could be on Twitch. You could meet a friend in another country and be like, hey, I'm going to go out and live there now, and just see what it's like. I'd encourage people that to see life as a situation as more of seasons than definite, because in moments of depression and stuff like that, it feels like it's forever, and it feels like this is how life is forever, and that's a misleading thought because it's not true. It's not. Like your situation can change in seconds, and it's much better for that to happen than for people to lose all hope. Switch life up dramatically.
So, speaking of your Twitch, do you have any future projects you're working on that you would like to disclose a little bit of and give a little tease?
So, this weekend is the 1 year, and we're doing a different cosplay every hour for 6 hours. So, I'm going to be rotating every hour. There's going to be a new cosplay while doing that nobody's seen before. And we're gonna have a special guest that's never been on the stream before coming out, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but people know them. Yeah, that PewDiePie. That's it, right? Ninja's coming to hang out, right? We're gonna play Fortnite. It's gonna be
Fortnite.
It's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best. I don't even build in Fortnite. I just shoot things. I don't even know how to build.
I'm here with you.
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, so we've got that coming up. We've got the Mad Hatter cosplay coming up, which is going to be soon. And so we're going to be doing John Dess Mad Hatter. That's already ordered. I'm working on that. And then we're going to be going live from Dragon Con here at the end of the month and doing some hangouts, maybe some interviews with other cosplayers, other streamers, doing things, Captain Jack interviews out in public. Gonna get all kind of crazy.
So you just said you did lots of new stuff every hour. Do you have happen to have the cosplay for the Lone Ranger or the Long Ranger, a character Johnny Depp played in a movie?
I don't have the Lone Ranger. No, I don't have that one. I've got a lot of his, and I'm kind of piecing through them, but I don't have that one. One of them I'm most apprehensive about trying those Edward Scissorhands because I don't know how I'm gonna play the the games with all the scissors. That's a just chatting stream right there. Especially if I'm not talking, I'm just going snip.
So, what are some funny moments or very unexpected moments that happened to you while on stream or while recording a TikTok or a video for YouTube?
Typically when things break. Usually something will break. I've broken captain's bells. The monkey's broken, and this is why we come up with our phrase "streaming is hard" because you can't predict what's gonna happen. Like, it's just you're gonna hop online. Like every other game in my Steam library worked last stream, except for the one that I was set to play and had announced everywhere. That one didn't work. All the other ones did. And I was like, how in the world? And like, I was 30 minutes late because I was uninstalling and reinstalling the game and restarting my computer. Like, you just can't predict it, but it's just a matter of like rolling with it and having fun and being lighthearted and be like, listen, we're all people. Like, we're trying very hard, and no matter how polished something looks, things can go wrong.
Amazing. So what's the one thing you wish you would have known before you ever started becoming a content creator? What would you tell yourself back then, for like to be more enthusiastic or to look forward to what you have right now?
Don't worry about the numbers. Have fun. Have fun. Like, if you're not having fun, you've lost your way and you need to come back. You need to come back and find out why you started doing this. Like, you should be enjoying this. Because if you're not having fun, nobody else is going to have fun with you. You know, like, you need to, like, the more fun that you have doing this, like, the better it's going to be for the viewer. And then you also need to be a viewer as well as a streamer. Like, you can't do one without the other. You can't just be a streamer unless you're super popular somewhere else. You can't just be a streamer and just start off and expect people to come out. So you need to be, I would have been a lot more active in other streams to begin with had I known that. Also, don't follow on social media. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Would you mind telling us why?
So if you just like are randomly follow, you're gonna wind up with a bunch of people that like are inactive accounts that aren't a part of your community, and it's really hard to go back and sort through later on who is what name and try to like remove ghost followers. It becomes very, very difficult to do that. It does get you like, you can get like a lot of people follow you really quick if you do that stuff, just doing that. But in the end, like, you haven't made any relationships through that. It's much better to like go like be active in the social communities, make friends, like talk to some people, and then exchange information, and then like go follow people that way. That way you know who they are, and it's not just like everyone that like hashtagged Twitch you followed. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. So we are now at our final 4 questions for your speech at the end. And so your next question is, what are some challenges you've faced through when you first started out Twitch, or maybe like a challenge you had a month ago or a week ago that you feel like others will face in the upcoming days, or they don't know how to go through that challenge and a difficult time of streaming or becoming a content creator?
I feel like this is my first summer ever streaming, and I feel like Twitch is different over summertime. I feel like it is. I mean, families are home, people are out doing things, you know, school's out. So I don't feel like people are like as necessarily like, as active in the Twitch world. And I've seen that like a lot across the board, and I've seen a lot of people getting down like, man, like, just people aren't coming to hang out as much right now and thinking that something's wrong with them. Like, nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. Summertime on Twitch seems to be a different type of like algorithmic space than the rest of the year. And I could be wrong about that, but like, it seemed pretty across the board for me this summer. And all of my friends that I talked to, and I was like, you know, like, I don't want people to start getting like in their heads or down about that, because it's easy, again, to let numbers dictate how you feel about who you are and what you put out there in the world, whether it's YouTube or Twitch or anywhere.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people felt that this year, especially due to COVID, with everyone being inside. So that actually brings us to our next question about COVID. How did your Twitch community, your Twitch itself, react throughout COVID? Did you see an increase in numbers, a decrease in numbers? And second part to that question is, what did you go throughout COVID? Did your mental health have an issue? Did you get infected by the virus? Or did someone around you get infected?
Yeah. So first of all, my whole family's had it. That happened a while back, but I would say yes, it definitely affected my mental health. See, I just started streaming last September, so I entered into COVID. COVID really started happening like, March 2020 is when it really took off. And it affected my school life, it affected my social life, it affected everything. And I was in a horrible mental health space, like absolutely atrocious. And again, I felt like I wasn't really serving any real purpose in my job or anything anymore. Like it was just a bunch of things, because all the joy of teaching had been taken away because I was looking at a bunch of blank webcams with nobody on them, teaching virtually. But Twitch came along, and this is why every single person that comes into chat, like, I can't thank them enough, because I know what it's like to not have anyone to talk to about this, and then having people show up and being able to play the games and dress up and forget about all of the things that are just, you can turn on the news and just be oppressed all day long and feel it all day long if you want to, but to be able to turn on something different and just go and like feel like positivity and to feel loved and to feel cared about and feel community and feel like I can just let all that go for a bit, like that's how I feel when I see people in chat, Sort
of like a sense of comfort. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely a lot of comfort there, but it's beyond that, in the sense that it's not just like I feel secure. It's more of like we were establishing a community and a family through this. That way, we had people to reach out to, the way like nobody's alone anymore. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it was devoiding that whole factor of like you're by yourself. You're not going through yourself. So it's beyond just comfort, but it's also security and knowing that you don't have to deal with things all by yourself anymore.
Awesome, that's so nice, and that you went through all of that and felt the same like aspiration, almost enjoyment of streaming on Twitch. But second part of that question is, do you think the industry of content creation will have a bigger impact throughout the aftermath of COVID once everything's done, or is just a short period thing that everyone's inside and they're tuning on stream?
Yeah, as with most things, like in the scientific world, and I'm not a science teacher, but like with like metrics, as far as like looking at like a plane, if we're looking at like a data plane, you know what I mean? I feel like with the pandemic stuff, like there's going to be spikes and dips all over based on what's happening with that. Like I feel like people are going to be super involved in Twitch, and I feel like it's going to be a great space for when the virus is like, or if there's anything going on with COVID that is limiting people from being able to fully access other activities. And then I feel like as soon as any of those freedoms are safe to go and do again, that people are going to go express that, and go on these vacations and go be in public and do those things more, at least for a short period of time, but eventually I feel like it's eventually going to like level out, if that makes sense. I feel like we're kind of like riding a roller coaster right now, just in general in the world, but I feel like eventually it's going to settle out, and I feel like Twitch as a platform itself and the streaming thing is only going to increase, especially in the live streaming area, because it's becoming more accessible between phones and smart TVs. Like it's not just like a computer thing anymore, and it's been around for a decade, but like as technology advances and accessibility to like streaming like advances, I feel like it's just going to get more and more popular as something for people to watch.
Oh wow, that's very unique way of thinking of the Twitch itself becoming more than just a platform for small and big content creators. It could be expanded into a whole brighter community, bigger than maybe TikTok or YouTube. And So your final question, Raven, is what's something you thought you would never accomplish but ended up accomplishing it in the end?
would say there's a twofold answer to that. One, Twitch partnership. Didn't think that would ever happen. It wasn't on my radar. It was never on my radar. It was a dream, but it was never something that like I thought was like, you know, like I never said it like our goal is partner. I never had a stream where I said partner push. I never had anybody tweeting out, you know, like I never asked people to tweet out or retweet out Raven for partner or anything like that. And when people did it, like I was very grateful for like that gesture, but that was not why I started, and it's not what it was about. It was a beautiful gift that has allowed us to meet more and more friends over the period of time. So that's like part A to that answer. Part B to that answer is establishing a community. I didn't know that Twitch communities even really existed, and I didn't know that I could be a part of one, and much less be a streamer with friends like we have in the Armada and the Discord and on Twitch that are connected. So people say they toss this word around your community or my community a lot of times, you know, and I'm like, I have ownership over nothing. I get on there and act silly and dress up as a pirate and eat cheese balls. Like, it is just the ultimate piece of gratitude to be able to hang out with somebody in that space. And so to feel like there is a community, I won't call it my community. I said there is a community that I'm a part of and I get to stream with and have fun with. It's super humbling, and I'm glad that that I have them as much as, you know, I didn't even know something like that was possible. So yeah, so there's a twofold answer.
Awesome. So now it's time for your ending speech. If you want to recap anything that we talked about, or just give the viewers a bit of a insight or motivation into what you do and what you want others to hear if they're feeling very down.
So, well, first and foremost, again, you're not a number. You're worth more than that. Whatever numbers there are out there, you're worth more than that. Don't let any metrics get you down. Establish yourself in other communities. Be a part of, be a viewer, be active wherever you want to be. Find people that are doing it, ask them questions, you know, like get involved. Like that stuff's going to help so very much. And you know that like anytime you hit go live, even if just one person shows up, like somebody came to see you, and that's super amazing because nobody had to, and somebody did. And you know, somebody watched your video, and that's super awesome. If you're like, oh man, this has only got 300 views, like 300 people watched that, dude. Like, I can't get 300 people in my backyard if I tried. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's the biggest birthday party in the world. So don't let numbers run your life, you know? And then make sure that you take that time besides that, and that you love on the people that you do get to meet and the people that you're around, because you know, we only have so much time here, and you know, if we spend it focusing worrying about numbers and algorithms and metrics and what we want to make happen, we'll miss everything that's going on right now in our present. You know what I mean? Like my grandmother would say, you'll run by more than you can catch up with. Like you miss out on a lot of life. So don't get down. And again, to those of y'all that may have skipped ahead the beginning, I'm Raven, also known as the Captain. We stream every Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday at 9 Eastern. Captain Jack Sparrow is the common cosplay, and we're going to be doing a bunch of them this weekend for the 1-year anniversary stream. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have special guests. We've got a bunch of giveaways coming up, and we're very excited about Dragon Con this year. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're in the Atlanta area, come and hang out. Even if you're not, come down to Dragon Con. Come hang out. It'll be good.
Awesome. So, Captain Raven, would you mind giving the viewers all your URLs?
Yeah, so it's the Raven Armed everywhere. It makes it easy. It's never different. It's Instagram, the Raven Armed. It's TikTok, the Raven Armed. It is Twitter, the Raven Armed. It is Twitch, the Raven Armed. It is YouTube, the Raven Armed. It is Xbox. It is Bungie.net. It is Steam. anywhere you want to find me. It's the Facebook. What else? Yes. So D Raven Arm. Anywhere. Type it in. You'll find it.
Awesome. If you guys want to check out Raven, go ahead and click all the links in the description below. I'll link his TikTok, his Instagram, his YouTube, and his Twitch. And Raven, thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, my friend. It's been an honor.
It was my honor to have you. And I'll see you in just a few.
That sounds good. Sure. Yeah. I'd also like the full content of the video after you get done. Are you leaving it up like this? Does it stay in this 90-minute category? Like, does it stay up like this? Okay. Because I'll post that in the Discord and send it to everybody so they can watch it. No. I mean, like, are you posting the whole 90 minutes of our interview on YouTube? Does that stay up, or do you take that down? Okay, yeah, because I'll send that out to the crew. So if you just send me the link to this video,